Hey, hey, hey! What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Chada Mecha live stream. I'm your host, Tim, the one and only Chada Mecha. It's, Thursday? Yeah. We're going to jump back on the GBWC build again today, because we were having fun with that this week, and we're just going to rock and roll from there, right? So, rocking the Titans shirt this afternoon. If you want to pick up one of these shirts, go to www.chadamecha.com, hit the store button up at the top. You will find this shirt, many more hats, prints of my work, all sorts of fun stuff in there. So go load it up. If you want to pick up any of the tools and materials that we're going to be working with here today, hit the little Amazon link down here on Twitch and YouTube. That side, if you're watching on Facebook, I do get a bit of a commission based off the stuff that you buy, but it doesn't increase the cost for you. It goes to help out me, goes to help out the stream, fuel our endeavors moving forward. A lot of cool stuff in there, like I said, tools and materials, books for inspiration, gear for streaming, all sorts of fun stuff in there. If you are interested in kits, tools, paints, accessories, Mecha Decals, sheets 1 and 2, those are both in stock and shipping now. Hit up our good friends right down here, USA Gundam Store. Adam and the fine crew will definitely have what you need. And as always, if you enjoy this stream, if you find value in the content, if you learn something from us, then like, follow, subscribe on all the social media channels. It would be appreciated. And if you know somebody or a group of somebodies that could benefit from watching this, share it with them. It's a nice thing to do, right? Anyway. RF Aurora, Mr. Andrew says, howdy Tim, quiet on YouTube today, right? It's quiet all across the board. Like, is it just Thursday, or is it me? I don't know. Anyway, we're going to continue to build, right? So, chat or no chat, right? Anyway, here we go. And let's get caught up with what we were doing yesterday, right? We were working on the mag here, right? This guy. Now, we did a couple things on stream, and then I did a couple things off stream as well, right? Let's see. Greg Blair says, oh wow, it is quiet. Yeah, for real, right? I didn't know if it was working at first, I'll be honest with you. But Travis Pascal, he's over there on the Mech Army Facebook group. He says, feel like I've missed so much, it's just hard to try and watch while at work. Oh, yeah, no doubt. No doubt at all. That's one of those things, man. And trying to get the stupid monitoring gear here, too. And that's one of the things about people, you know, kind of going back and rotating back into the world, right? It's going to be odd, kind of from what we're now used to, right? Weird. Anyway, monitoring gear. Close that. We don't need double sound. Let's see. Greg Blair says, did you get the thing I sent you? I have not been able to get to the post office today, Greg. That I will try definitely to get there tomorrow, but thank you in advance. Goalie Zero, Mr. Carl, he says, it's a good day to murder plastic. Yes. Yes, it is. More scribing. Carl, just for you, buddy. I'm going to let every atom of the plastic scream your name. Terry T's with us over there on YouTube. He says, Tim, if you could enter the Bandai Open, what would your entry be? Come on, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. If I was to enter Bandai Open, it would be what? It would be my GBWC entry. There. Happy? Although I'm not gonna Kawaguchi this thing and say like, ooh, I like samurai, or ooh, I like dragons and all this like Aaron did from Australia. Nah, not gonna do that. Not gonna do that one. All right, so we were working with a mag yesterday. We've got this nice little strip down there. We got all this stuff done. All that done there. I still need to do cleanup on the super glue and everything, but that's coming along. We also fiddled around with the exhaust tube and stuff like that here. Got all that done. That's looking really, really quite nice. Scribed in some lines there. We got our little riblets kind of set into that little thruster bell, and we got that set in. We got to do something about the inside because that's a little bit plain, but we'll jump that hurdle when we come to it, right? The other thing that we did here yesterday was to start a nice big beefy detail right up here, and this is kind of where we are at this point with this thing, right? And I'm kind of liking this so far because this is definitely going to help balance out the weight, the visual weight of everything, because if you remember, we got this bad boy right up at the front, right? So this definitely needs a little bit of balancing out, because that right there, a little on the thin side. Now, one of the other questions that I kind of have wondered at this point is, I don't know, I don't know if we keep this or not. I'm kind of on the fence about it at this point, because I want this big detail here to kind of flow over the sides here and down onto you know, these surfaces here, right? And then also extend up a little further as well. So that kind of leaves us with a bit of a conundrum. You know, do we add that bar back in or not? I'm kind of leaning toward no at this point, but we'll continue on and see what see what that looks like, right? We'll make a decision. Yeah. Greg Blair says, okie dokie, got to get back to work later, buddy. Hey, man. Greg, thank you again. Carl over there on Twitch, he says, hot. Nice. Sarah T says, haha, fair enough. Cullen Barr says, I want a McRib now. Thanks, Tim. You're welcome, Cullen. Terry T, he says, the good news is Japan is slowly opening back up beside the major cities. And then Ranger Chris is over there. He says, hey, y'all. What's going on, Chris? Yeah. Things are starting to, I guess, open back up, right? Whether it be good or bad. I don't know. I'm a bit personally hesitant, but that's just me. Anyway, I don't want to get into the weeds on that at this point. I want to build. I want to mess around with plastic. You know what I mean? I don't want the YouTube police coming down and stopping the stream either, right? So that would be bad. 2 times in a week. Jesus. All right. So let's kind of show you what we did on this thing. So what we did yesterday is we messed around with this nice thick plastic strip here that was 2 millimeters by 4 millimeters, and then we scribed in 2 parallel lines there. Oh, that's a perfect angle, right? And then that left us with a nice little strip down the middle, and we recessed that, right? Ranger Chris says Tim's stream got taken down. Yeah, dude, on what was it? 2 days ago on the early stream. We were about finishing up, and then all of a sudden the YouTube stream just stopped, just dead in its tracks. And it said something wild about there was a copyright claim, or somebody had reported it against community violations. I don't have any copyright claims against me on the YouTube back end, and I don't see the stream video at all. Like, it just disappeared, right? So usually, a couple years ago, I said 2 days ago, wasn't that yesterday? Was it yesterday? Oh, yeah, it was yesterday. My bad. I was making stuff for tomorrow. Graphics and stuff for tomorrow. And I had the 15th in mind, and I'm just like, ugh. Anyway, yeah, so it was yesterday. Sorry. So it was yesterday. But yeah, the stream stopped dead in its tracks. There's no saved video file on the back end of YouTube. Nothing. It just up in smoke. I don't know where it went. So I contacted YouTube. I doubt very seriously that they're going to get back to me on it. So it's on the other channels and stuff like that. It's on Facebook. It's on Twitch and even Twitter. You know, those we're fine. Yeah. So it is what it is. Ranger Chris says sounds like the bot's running things going off the rail. Yeah, and that's kind of what happened the first time. It happened like a month or two ago. Same type of thing. And you know, in YouTube, I think it was like a mass type of thing where YouTube they kind of released a statement saying, you know, hey, we're fine tuning the bots and stuff like that. And I think that's probably more or less what it was. I don't know, but what are you gonna do? It is what it is. It's done and over now. I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it. But anyway, so what we did was we scribed 2 lines in there and went ahead and walled that in. That's all looking really nice, and this is at a slight angle right here, and I really like that. And then we added 2 little accent pieces here with some mitered top corners there. So that's all looking really, really quite nice. That's just the beginning of what we're doing, right? Excuse me. So one thing I need to do here real quick is to flatten the bottom here to make that nice and flush, because these 2 side strips are actually just a little proud of being flat. So we're gonna just take our little sanding block here and just kind of run these 2 across it. Actually, let's try our file plate here. Yeah, see, that makes quick work of all of this. Just all flattening and everything. This file plate is the perfect tool. Yeah, and that's just like, that's dead flat. Like, you can't even, there's no surface imperfections of that at all, right? So if we set this along the 1, 2, 3 block, that just absolute flat. Anyway, so that's a really good start at this point. Now, what we want to do is take this piece off, this top piece off here. We want to take this off. This is going to be our guide, so to speak, right? Okay, and then this piece slots on here, and it's the perfect width now. And if we back this all the way up to there, that's basically what we're working with, right? I think that looks pretty damn good. But like I said, I want to bring some more plastic pieces down onto the gray part to kind of look like that's kind of been bolted on, so to speak, right? And I think that'll look really good. Now, in terms of the rail, this handle here, right? What do we do with this? I don't even know. I think we toss this one. You know, I think we just get rid of that, because I have this 1.2 millimeter rod that slots perfectly right into there. And if we really want to, we could always bend this around and into a shape that we're happy with, right? So I'm not going to worry about it. So what we're going to do first is we're going to focus. There it is. I'm gonna rip off these two little long nubby things here, because they're just not going to be needed at this point with what we're going to be doing. So get that flattened out there, and let's get our 600 sanding block, and we'll just really just take that down to a nice Nice flat edge, right? There we go. Very nice. All right. We'll do the same thing with this other side. We'll just get rid of this. Because again, it's not going to be needed. Just like that. All right. And then do the same thing with this side. And there she is, flat again. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do, like I said, we're going to get some plastic here, and we're going to drape this down around these two sides here, right? Now, before we can do that, I want to get this white detail in place first so that we have proper placement, right? So what that's going to mean for us is gluing on one side here onto the white part, onto this white detail, and then using that as a locator and just drape this down right along the side of the wall, the gray part, and then we can slap on our other part and make sure that that's all nice and even, right? So that's what I think we'll probably end up doing here. Now, the important thing here is to find what kind of shape we want to do here, right? What kind of shape? And what kind of thickness, too? Do we want 1 millimeter thick, or do we go 0.5 millimeter thick? These are questions, right? These are questions that need answers at this point. I'm thinking that's too wide. Where is this? That's 1/4 millimeter. This looks okay here. Yeah, see, that's not bad right there. It's not bad right there. And I think this is 3/4 millimeter. I don't think this is half. Yeah, see, that's 3/4 millimeter. I want to try to find a 0.5 millimeter. I think this little strip is 0.5 mil. Yeah, that's 0.5 mil by 4. Bingo, by 4. All right, excellent. So, excuse me. We'll get this sucker on here like that, and then we can kind of do something like obviously not with these angled cuts in here or anything like that, because I think those just look kind of dumb at this point. But I think that's what we're gonna do. So let's get the ends on this squared up, and then we'll get some lengths cut. We'll get these installed and go from there. Okay. So we'll get that plate off there, get that pushed back a bit, and then square that end. And we'll do same thing on that side. Get both of these ends on this strip squared up, just like that, right? Looking perfect. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to find the proper length for this, right? So let's see, that is 13 millimeters. 13 millimeters for these two little side detail pieces, right? 13 millimeters. We want the same, or at least I want the same length, right? So let's see. There is 2 right about there. I think should be good. Lock that into place. Get that out of there, and let's make a test cut first, because we don't have a lot of this, right? We don't have a lot of that. So we'll make a test cut with this and see, number one, if that's a good length, right? So we'll cut a little piece off of there, and let's match it up. Perfect. That's actually perfect. Sweet. First try. I can't believe it. All right. So we'll cut both of our lengths of strip here. And we've got our two pieces right there. Looking good. And now one other thing that I want to do is I want to miter the two corners on this. So we're going to get our stop block back in here, and then we're going to let's see, what are we going to grab? We're going to grab a 1/4 millimeter strip that we're going to use for our distance gauge from the blade, and that's going to create a 1/2 millimeter bevel or miter or whatever you want to call it. I don't even know the difference, honestly, just kind of talking out of my ass. But anyway, it's going to make a 45-degree angled cut on both sides, right? So there's one. Get out of there. And we need to get the little debris out of there so that it doesn't obstruct our little strip there. And there's two. All right, so what we're talking about is right there. See the little angles at the bottom? Like I said, I don't know what that is. That's a miter, it's a chamfer, it's a whatever. Bevel, I don't know. I use these terms loosely and interchangeably. Sue me. Right? Anyway. Alright, so we got that there. Let's get our 1, 2, 3 blocks back into frame. Let's get that back in, and let's get this guy back in here too. So what we're going to do is we are going to align these pieces right with the angle breaks there on the little details, right? And then these are going to come down and kind of overhang the sides of the gray part. Now, placement on this is honestly pretty much everything at this point, because we're probably not going to get a second chance at this. I'm just straightening these little angle cuts out here real quick. Just making those nice and neat, right? Making them nice and neat. There we go. Attention to detail, kids. Attention to detail. There we are. All right, so now we're going to load one of these pieces up in our tweezers, just like that. And we're going to get just a tad bit of super glue on this piece. Not a lot. Not a lot. And we're going to pop it right there on the side. Okay. And we're going to get a little, we need a little bit more. There we go. All right, so now, moment of truth. Now we place this thing, right? Nice. Very nice. Very, 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 very nice. Perfect alignment there. Perfect alignment there right on those angle breaks. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. All right. So there's what we're talking about, right? Looking good. That's looking good. Now, again, keep in mind, these are all very raw shapes. We'll refine these and add little micro details and all that good stuff. And all that, you know, we'll get to that, right? We'll get to that. But this is just raw geometry at this point. These are just raw shapes, sharp corners for the most part. So just, you know, bear that in mind. It's all in the process, right? And that's the thing with scratch building anything, really, is it comes down to geometry. It comes down to shapes. And once you get that, then you can further refine those shapes and just keep working it down until you get your final form, right? And that's essentially what we're doing here. We're just kind of refining these shapes and just getting the geometry that we're looking for. So there's that look there. See how that overhangs? Looking nice. That's nice and flush there on that side, so that's looking pretty good. Now, dare I say, if I went ahead and placed the other one, it would properly slot right onto this this gray piece. Kind of feeling like it would at this point. Yeah. Kind of feeling that they would. Let's go ahead and do it. Okay? Let's get a little super glue on here. Let's get our plastic piece loaded up in our tweezers first, and then a little bit of super glue. Right along the edge there. All right. So again, placement. Man, placement's everything right now. Come on. Don't fiddle around with me. There we go. There we are. Alright. Good on that side. We're good on this side. Let's make sure that this is pressed together properly. That looks pretty good. Alright, so now, kind of moment of truth. Let's see the fit. Oh man, look at that. Like a glove. Like a glove. Very nice. And look at that. That's nice and it's not even falling off. That fits so nicely. Perfect. Just perfect. Happy about that. Happy about that. All right. So that's one hurdle down, and that's looking quite nice, right? Looking quite nice. So next thing we want to do, I wanted to add some back here to drape down on this back side here too, but a bit of a thicker piece, so like a 1mm or something like that, right? So I think that's what we're going to end up doing next. But let's find a 1mm strip that we're happy with. No, not that. What about a 4mm? I just had a 4mm strip by 1 here just a few seconds ago, because we just used the 1 or the 4 by half to make those two sides, but I saw a 4 by 1 in here somewhere. I've got like a ton of plastic strips just sitting over here below camera and everything, so sometimes it's a chore trying to find exactly what we need. No, that's 3/4. Shoot. Thought I had one, but I guess I don't. What is this? This This is 4.8. That's not bad. That's... yeah, screw it. Let's go 4.8. Why not? Right? Why not? I need to square up the ends here. There we go. All right, now, as you can see, there's a slight angle in this piece, right? Slight. Just a slight one. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue this on here at the angle, and then we'll just carefully bend the rest of the strip into place. Okay? Just real carefully. Now, the big question is, how long does this thing need to be? We're looking at about 6 millimeters. 6 millimeters is what we want. Okay? So, get this in here. Measure over 6 millimeters right there. Lock our stop block into place, get that out of there, and we make our cut just like that. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. All right, and then we can put this off to the side. Get over there. And one other thing that we're going to do is bevel down one side of this here, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to just do this by hand and by eye. We're going to take our hobby knife. We're going to go parallel about a ½ millimeter back from that, right? Angle up along there. Trying to, nope, we're not parallel. Moved out of parallel just a little bit, but that looks good. And then we cut down into it, and then hopefully that's straight. Yeah. Yep, that looks good. That looks good to me. All right, so we'll just tidy that up a bit. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so what we're going to do next, take our little piece here and pull that off of there. We're just going to place this guy pretty much dead center along this piece, right? Just like that. So we'll get a little super glue up here at the top. We're going to be generous a little bit with this because we do want this to squeeze out just a bit. Okay. And that looks pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Now, the reason why we wanted this to squeeze out is to fill in the void down here at the bottom. So we just need to spread that super glue right down in there, and we just need to let this cure, right? That's really what it comes down to. We just need to let it cure. And there's what we're looking like so far before we bend this place, or this piece, before we bend it to our will, right? There you go. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. All right, so we'll take that off of there. Let's get caught up with the chat, shall we? Oh, let's see. Superset 5 is over there on Twitch. He's got a question for us.
We have a question.
He says, I did the same trick you used on the Zaku 2's elbow with the epoxy putty on my V-fin for my kit bash, but it didn't work. Any tips or suggestions before I glue the V-fin to the head? What didn't, I guess what didn't work, right? How did it not work? Kind of let us know that, Michael. And then we can better help. Okay. Let's see. Alex Andrews is over there on YouTube. He says, dealing with a nephew who doesn't want to sleep, so mildly distracted. Yeah, well. No, I'm not saying that. No. Come on. Just a joke. A joke. That's it. Shaka 12's over there on YouTube. They say, not even CAD software decided how they are called. Maya, 3ds Max, Rhino, etc. all call them either bevel, chamfer, even fillet. It's more the British pronunciation, right? Nobody knows, I guess. Yeah. Ranger Chris says they're all synonyms, so all are technically correct. Shaka replies, they are, but I wish they came up with the same standard term. Yeah, makes it easier to talk about things. Absolutely, I agree. And then Kyle chimes in. He says, there is a distinct difference between a chamfer and bevel. If you Google image, you'll see what I mean without having to write an essay about it. Yeah, yeah, Big Bean says bevel relates to an edge. Chamfer refers to a circle. Yeah, I know there's a difference. I just don't know what it is off the top of my head, honestly. And I'm not concerned enough to go look it up. Anyway, Alex says I'm gonna have to watch the replay. My nephew is being a pain. Catch you all another time. Stay safe. All #support Tim. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate you, buddy. Shaka 12 over there says, yeah, but in the case of CAD software, they include all those options under the same umbrella term. Whew. So it's still confusing. Yeah, that's not going to mess anybody up, right? Nah. Brandon over there, he says chamfer refers to joining two edges. Oh, wait. WT equals ITH. You lost me there, Brandon. And he says an angle. Bevel is cutting the corner off of something at an angle. Okay. Terry says to Kyle, he says, your thing is done. I'll have it in the mail tomorrow. Ooh. Kyle's got a thing, you guys. Watch out. Watch out, Mrs. Clueless Gumpla. His thing's going to be in the mail. Ooh. Spicy. Kyle says that's CAD in both woodworking and machining. There's a difference. Yeah. Kyle says awesome to Terry. Yeah. Manny's over there with us on YouTube. He says, hello, you beautiful mecha army. What's going on, Manny? You baby face bitch. Shaka 12 says, I'm not debating what it means. I'm just saying each software uses the term willy-nilly. Fair. Manny says, buy Mecha Decals. You will love it, I guarantee. Thank you, Manny. Big Bean says, chamfer is technically a bevel. Hope that adds to the confusion. Wow. Yeah. Let's see here. Mr. Thomas Christopher Staten. Sorry, Christopher, or Thomas. Shit. Thomas Christopher Staten. There we go. So regal. So royal. He says, still learning in the Gunpla game. My question is... Oh, hey. Let's get... This is a question.
We have a question.
Hey. He says, what is Mod Podge used for? It's more for dioramas and stuff, dude. Mod Podge is like... It's like a sealer, glossy type of thing. I've seen a lot of people use it for water, kind of water, like with the ripples and stuff on the water and everything. Um, it's limited in actual. Well, I wouldn't say it's even limited. I'd say avoid it at all costs in actual, you know, the building of the models. But in dioramas, it has its uses. Yeah. And yeah, Big Bean over here on YouTube, he says it's more arts and crafts. Yeah. It's definitely a more arts and crafts type of thing. So not really intended for scale modeling. But like I said, in dioramas and stuff like that, it has its uses. Yeah, I'd go look up Luke Tawan on YouTube. I'm sure most of us have probably seen videos of his diorama work and everything. I mean, he's probably the biggest scale modeler on YouTube at this point. I think he's got just under 1 million followers. And I know that he does use Mod Podge in certain cases and in certain dioramas. So yeah, I would look him up because he's probably going to be one of your best sources in terms of uses. So good question. Andrew over here on YouTube, he says, so Tim, who's the judge for your case against Frankie and Mechanism tomorrow night? I think we appointed Pabs. Honestly, you guys, we're not going to spend much time on it. It's not going to be a big song and dance. It's just going to be like, all right, I win. We're done. Let's move on. And then we'll just get to shenanigans. So, yeah, don't expect much. Let's see. Superset, he replied to us. He says, the epoxy putty didn't contour to the connection inside the news head very well. Plus, the connection isn't very strong. Well, yeah, it's not... it's going to only be as strong as the form itself, right? And how much you're able to push into that form, right? So the key, Michael, is to have more epoxy putty on the piece than really what you need or what you suspect you're going to need, because you want it to fill all the voids within the cavity first, and then start to kind of squeeze out from there. And then once you have that, then you let it cure, and then trim off what you don't need, and then you should be good to go. And then that form will be a perfect mirror of the cavity that you molded, right? So that would basically be how you do it in a nutshell. I mean, if that didn't work, then yeah, I mean, you're probably gonna have to glue the thing in place. I mean, ultimately, you're gonna want to glue it in place in the final assembly. But obviously, for ease of painting, you're gonna want to keep it separate until that very final step, right? So hopefully that helps, right? If you have any other questions or anything else, just let us know. Let us know, man. Let's see. Brandon wants to know. He says, "Hey Tim, just need to know how you want that payment sent, and I can get it that to you." I still need to work up the shipping cost, Brandon. But yeah, PayPal is my preferred method. I'll get you that here. I know I said I was gonna do it either last night or today, and today's kind of been a shitstorm. So I'll get that to you right after the show. Okay. Let's see. Yes, he says if you're still good with that. Yes, definitely. And Manny says Brandon DMs. No, he has. We have. I just have been I have been laxed in being able to reply simply because of work commitments and stuff like that. And then yesterday was just was crazy. Let's see. Manny says I use Mod Podge for solidifying my jigsaw puzzles. Yeah, there you go. Interesting, right? Let's see. Thomas Christopher Staten, he says, I see, thanks. Absolutely, man. You know what? It was a good question about the Mod Podge. Hell yeah. Let's see. Kyle says, just found out it's great for gluing photo etch parts on a painted model since it's water-based and dries clear. Yeah. Yeah. My only concern with that would be if it squeezed out, you'd have this glossy kind of sheen on the outside of your photo etch. That would basically be my only concern. So I mean, at that point, I don't know. Honestly, I'd still fall back on a super glue just because it's going to be stronger, but that's just me. So go with what you know. Let's see. Ranger Chris, he says, what Tim said, great channel to learn how to do dioramas. Absolutely. Luke Tawan, yeah, he's pretty damn good, you guys. He's pretty damn good. Brandon says, back to work duties I go. Brandon, have fun, buddy. Let's see. Brandon says, Kyle, Mod Podge is a form of PVA glue. In other words, Elmer's glue, yeah. Ranger Chris says, Mechanism the musical is coming? No. Not anytime soon. At least not with me. Let's put it that way. Let's see. Brandon says, thanks to Manny for wishing him, hoping he's safe and everything. He says, sitting at a desk doing paperwork. I'd say that's pretty safe, yeah. Let's see. Kyle says, exactly, I've used it quite a bit for dioramas. There you go. Manny says, oh, no homeless asking for change? I don't know. Anyway, let's see. Brandon says, I've seen people use it with good success for gluing clear parts with no risk of fogging. Yeah, clear parts I could probably see halfway decent use. Although not strong. Halfway decent use, yeah. Brandon says, no rush, I appreciate it. You're welcome, buddy. You're welcome. Let's see here. Itchy nose. Is that Robert Cottrell over there on the Mech Army Facebook group? Yes, it is. He says, hey, Tim. What's going on, Robert? Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, fun times. We're caught up. Let's get back to work, yeah? 3:57. We're still got over an hour, man. This is good stuff right here. This is good stuff. Okay. So this glue is set up here, nice and cured, everything there. Very, very nice. Let's get just a bit of this squeeze out on the sides done up here, cleaned up and all that jazz. There we are. Not much on this side of things. It was all on the other side, but still, it's a good idea to clean that up. And I see a little bit right here on this little angled piece there. We'll get that out of there. And a little bit here on the top of this piece here too. Make sure we were in frame. Right across there. Boom. And just a little, whoop, get off of there. Oop. There we go. All right, excellent. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to very, very carefully bend this piece here without without cracking it off the side, right? Let's see. To do that, let's see if we can get our duckbill pliers in here. I don't know if they're going to be wide enough. Ooh, they are just wide enough. Holy shit. Okay, so what we need to do here is take a firm grasp on this overhang piece with our little flat-nosed duckbill pliers here. And then we need to apply a lot of pressure to the glued-on portion, right? So that it doesn't stress it too much, and so that we can bend this properly, right? Ooh, I think we did it. Let's see. Ooh, by George, I think we've got it. Hello! Mrs. Doubtfire is probably going to make her return on Friday. Hello! The Queen. That looks pretty good. I think we still have a little gap under there, but I think we're in good shape thus far. Yeah. Julio says, "Yo, stop breaking shit." Man, you stop breaking shit. Go mind the cat, Julio. Listen to your mother. Alright. There we go. That's perfect, actually. Very nice. Yeah. Very nice. So that now is not coming off. That looks like it's just kind of strapped on there. It looks like you would have something there as a prototype, right? That's a good thing. That's a good look, right? All right. So what I want to do now is just kind of bevel this edge down just a bit. Actually, let's throw this back on the piece to do that, so we have a little bit of stability in there. Yeah. And then we're just going to take our knife, get that started there, and now we can take that off and clean it up. All right, so for that, we're going to take our little file, and we're just going to go to town. There we go. All right, so now throw that back on, and yeah, that looks very nice back there. Hell yeah. Looking good. Looking pretty damn good, right? Nice. Very, very good. All right. So, kiddos, there's that. Now, let's start on the front end here, yeah? Let's make sure one thing first. Make sure the whole top of this is one consistent level. Very nice. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so there's the beginning of our piece here. Now, what I think we're going to do next is to migrate the detail up onto this section here, right? Just kind of add some stuff, for lack of a better term. But before we do that, before we can get into that, I do want to make a quick, where is, no, that's not it. No, that's not going to work either. Where's our, is this it? No, shit. Okay, well, screw it. We need to even up the front end because it's not exactly square as well. So this is 400 sanding block, yeah, and we're gonna go to town. And I'm holding this at a slight angle because I want an angle in the two walls up front here. Alright, that's looking a bit better, a bit more squared. Not bad, not bad. Okay, so we're in good shape here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to pull out the... Ooh, that's all clogged with red, isn't it? Let's get that cleaned out of here. There we go. Now, we're going to take the bastard file. Yes, that's its name, bastard file. And we're going to start to cut in our angle here on this front part. And I don't want it necessarily at a 45. Not that steep or anything, but you know, a decently noticeable angle. Let's put it that way. Maybe like 60 or so, right? Something decent. I think that looks good. Let's clean this up here with our sanding block. Nice and square from the looks of it. And let's get the little excess out of there and off the sides. And there we are. All right. So that's a nice looking angle there. I dig it. And that's what we can work off of at this point, right? So there's that look thus far. And now we'll extend out from the middle section here onto the gray part. God, I got that red plastic dust all over my fingers now. It looks like I eat Cheetos or something. Disgusting. Anyway, let's get caught up with the chat. Warrior9131 is over there on Twitch. What's going on? Ranger Chris says, gonna have to get off. Got to go get some yard work done. Ugh. Yeah, I gotta do that after the stream too. Sucks, right? Julio says, yo, the cat loves me. Kyle says, the cool cat and kitten. There you go. Wow. Let's see. Sam L is over there with us on YouTube. He says, what's up, everyone? What's going on, Sam? And hey, Mr. Barack, Mr. B Plamo Builder, he's over there on YouTube as well. He says, hi, guys. What's going on, Barack? Say hi to Iris for me. Awesome people. Awesome people. Anyway, all right. So there's our angle. That's what we're working with. Let's continue on with the show. All right, so now, ooh, is this the? Oh, if this is the 4mm that I was looking for, I'm gonna be so pissed. Oh, you son of a bitch! It is. Look at that. That's that 4mm by 1mm I was searching for earlier. Go figure. Yeah. Anyway. Incredible. All right, so we need to get the inside here cleaned up because we definitely have some super glue squeeze out on the focus on the inside here from gluing all these pieces together. So we're just gonna real quick use our 1.2mm chisel and just kind of do our best to get that super glue squeeze out of here, right? There we go. And the good thing about super glue is once you've got it cut from, you know, properly from one surface, it usually tends to pop out pretty easily, thankfully. All right. Across the bottom here. There we are. So that is one nice and clean corner. Need to do the bottom here on this side, and then think we should be good to go, but we'll look and see. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's test it with the strip here. And let's go with the sort of square end. And is that flat along the bottom? That's the big question. It is not. What is stopping it here? Ah, okay. A little bit of super glue that I missed right here near the front. Right there. And it looks like we got a little bit there as well. Hard to gauge what's super glue and what's plastic on all, just the white styrene here. But we got it. We got it. All right, let's see. Now that goes all the way flat. That's perfect. Excellent. All right. So now what we're going to need to do is mock this up again, and then we need to take some measurements. We need to see how far out this piece needs to go. And we're looking at about, let me see here. Is that 4mm right there? Sorta is. So what we'll do, we'll come out exactly 1 centimeter. Easy. That makes it easy, right? Chisel discipline. And let's get our 1, 2, 3 blocks out of the way. Let's get our chopper in frame here. Let's get this set up here. Now the cool thing about the Wave T-squares is that the width of the actual ruler is exactly 1 centimeter. So we can just use that as our distance guide and lock that in, pull that out, and let's square up one of these ends first. Just like that. And then chop that. There we are. So if our measurements were correct, which I hope they were, this should slide right into here, and that should go up right near the edge of this piece. So let's get the chopper out of the way. It's kind of annoying to work around at this point, right? Get that in there, push down, and then we try to push that back as much as we possibly can. Okay, that looks good there. And perfect. That comes right up to exactly where I wanted it to end. Right there at that feature, right? If we pull this back, you can kind of see what I mean. So the end of this edge right here is where we wanted it to go, and that's exactly where it falls. Perfect. Perfect. Excellent. Okay, so now what we're going to do again is we need to stack this on top of another piece, because we've got a bottom plate here that's 1mm. So if we just pop this on top here and we leave it, there's going to be a 1mm gap in there, and that's not logical or aesthetically pleasing or really any of that, right? It's just ugly. So we're not going to do that. We're going to bump this up, and we're going to make a little bumper piece right underneath there. But we need to bevel or chamfer or whatever the edge here to make it fit along with this angle. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to cut in, or just basically cut off the corner here first, just to make our jobs a little bit easier here. And then we'll come back in with the file. Kind of square that out. Now, let's see how that fits. Oh, that's close. It's close. It's a little too steep right now, but that's very, very close. So we want to angle this up just a bit more than what it was. And just kind of rip into that surface a bit more. Now there's a little overhang on this that we want to cut off. Just that little focus. You can see that little pigtail that right there. That's what was kind of overhanging, and that would have caused issues, right? And bang on. Sweet. Very, very good. Now, big question. This is going to be the tougher part. Alignment. Alignment on this is going to be tricky, to say the least. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna use this focus. There we go. We're gonna use this part here. It's kind of a support structure. We're gonna pop that right in there so that we can hold on to this and kind of apply pressure to keep this strip into place, right? And then we will very, very carefully mark this with our machinist scriber here. Cool. And that will give us a more accurate placement guide rather than using a pencil, because a pencil offsets with the thickness of the lead. This is a very, very sharp point, tungsten carbide, so I trust the accuracy of this more than what we would for the accuracy of a pencil. Okay, so now comes the fun part. We have to line these up and place them perfectly. So to do that, what we're going to do, find our nippers, right? We need to hack off a piece a little bit longer than what we need, basically, so we have a bit of a handle. And we're going to glue this thing into place. And then we're going to get caught up with the chat, because I know Barack had a question, and I think there might have been some other questions there too. So we're going to get caught up with that here momentarily. But first, we need to get this thing installed here. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to get the thing in camera. And I don't know. Focus. There we go. I don't know if you're even going to be able to see the little scribe line. I don't know. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see it. It's way too light, unfortunately. So, sorry about that, kids. All right. So we're going to put a little glue on the bottom portion of this strip here. Spread this around with a little scrap piece right up to that scribed line. And then we will ever so carefully place our piece here. Now, since this is, this needs to, let's see, go this way? Yeah, it needs to go this way. Whew, boy. That, I'll be honest with you, that was a little nerve-wracking. But I think we nailed the placement, which is a good thing. I think we got it. We'll see, right? We'll see. All right, let's spin this guy around here. That little bump looks good. We may have to shave off maybe 1/10 of a millimeter or something like that there, but nothing crazy. So that actually looks really quite good. So here, let's take off a little bit of this excess here. There we go. Even those two up. And we'll put this back in here. And there's our little bumper at the bottom there. Nicely aligned, looking good. There's kind of what our detail looks like so far. We're gonna probably do some more to this front end here. We'll bevel this down at a nice angle and everything like that to make it blend in. But so far so good. I think that's looking pretty nice. I think it's looking pretty nice. I'm happy with it. Happy with that so far. Good geometrical shapes so far. It's shaping up into a nice detail. So yeah, pleased. Very pleased. All right, so let's get caught up with the chat, yeah? Let's see. Warrior over there on Twitch, he says, not much. Have you on in the background as I play games? Hey, nothing wrong with that. Thank you, man. Let's see. Mr. Barack is over there on YouTube. He says, yes, thank you, Tim. Hey, man, thank you, buddy. He says, have to come here to Panama. You have friends and fans here. Oh, man, I would love to. Love to. Come to Uruguay. Look at that. What up, Mr. B? Right? Julio says, yo, Ghost of Tsushima getting itself bought right now. Nice. Mr. B says, hey, Tim, got a question. Okie dokie. There we go. He says, are you using an SLR or a webcam for what is it? The sexy head view? Okay, so what you're seeing right here, that is actually a webcam. That is a Logitech C922. It's pretty good. It's Logitech's. I'd probably say they're one of their best cameras. Webcams, but let's be real, webcam technology hasn't evolved much in the past several years. So even though it's an older camera, it's still really good, right? Especially for just showing my dumbass. Now, what you're seeing here, this camera right up there, that is an SLR. That is a Rebel T7i, and it's got a 24-105 L lens on there. So it's got good glass. The glass is more expensive than the camera, unfortunately. Yeah, so that's what I use for the overhead camera as an SLR. But what you're seeing right here is just a C922 Logitech. So, but good question. Good question. Christopher Lee Choppy Vanos. Great name, by the way. He's over there on Facebook. He says, Tim rocks. See you Friday, my dude. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Warrior wants to know, what is this you're working on? So this is a This is just a detail piece that we're adding on to the bazooka for the remixed RX-78 that we're doing for GBWC next year. It's supposed to be for this year, but next year. Let's see. Mr. B, in response to Javier, Mr. Gunpla Uruguay, he says, "Oh, nice, nice. I'm setting up a stream, mostly in Spanish." Hey, very cool. Kyle says, "Super exciting detail." Get out of here, Kyle. Shut up. Mr. B says, "It's going to be in Spanish for Latin American community." That's awesome, dude. That is awesome. And Uruguay Javier says, "Oh, nice. Let me know when you're going to do it." Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's going to be great. Mr. B says, "Thanks, thanks, Tim. You look sexy." Get out of here, Barack. God damn it. Warrior says, "Love your Titans shirt." Oh man, thank you. Appreciate that. Child of Mecha, you can get your own if you want. Barack says, "Hey Tim, it's looking good. I'm having a..." Yep, not doing that one. Nope, 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 nope. Barack, behave yourself. All right. So we're looking pretty good here, and I like how this is coming out thus far. So let's get this disassembled here, and we're going to work on this little bump out piece, this little extension or whatever we want to call it at this point. Let's first get the sides nice and flush with one another. For that, we're going to bring in the good old grinding plate. But first, let's make sure there's no super glue squeeze out on either side. There's a little bit on this side because that will obstruct the flattening of these two surfaces, right? So very, very carefully, we just want to kind of rock this back and forth, just a few passes on this thing, and that's really all it's going to take, is just a few passes before this thing is nice and flush. Alright, that looks to be pretty good. Let's do a fingernail test. Passes. Excellent. Let's do the other side here real quick. And we're not taking off a lot of material on these sides here either, you guys, because we're just doing a few light passes here on this thing, just to flatten out the sides and even up our work here. This side needed a little bit more love and attention simply because it was out of alignment a little bit more than the other side. And there was a little bit of super glue squeeze out on this side, but it looks good. It looks good. So we're going to do that. We're going to get that off to the side there. Excuse me. And like I said, we're going to make a nice kind of sharp bevel here like we did on the first, or on some of the other pieces, I should say. So we're going to go right there, get that parallel with the end, and try to cut as evenly as possible, right? Now, that's not too bad, but didn't take off as much as I had wanted it to. Let's put it that way. So we're going to come back a little bit more. Do that again. There we go. That cut through both, but as you can probably see, that is not perfectly straight there. So we're going to have to fine-tune this a bit, yeah? Take a little bit off of this side, and then we can go about smoothing this out here. It's a little bit more than what I want. We're going for 600 here, and let's see. Let's go side to side first. Not bad, not bad. And then we'll go vertically here. That looks pretty good. Okay. Let's see how this looks on the piece. And there we are. Very nice. Very nice. We're not done just yet, though. We're going to add a couple other little things to this. But so far, that's looking pretty good right there. Now, what I think I'm going to do is cut off, just flatten the front end just a bit. Just bring that in just a little. A little bit more. Okay. That should be much better. Now, that should be pretty much completely flush with this detail in the molded in the piece. Yeah, see? Now that looks really nice right there. That looks really, really good. Very cool. See, and the trick is, at least in my opinion, for details like this, is you want varying heights, you know, which is what we've got. You want varying widths, which is what we've got. And just different shapes, angles, and stuff like that, right? So this is definitely a more interesting piece than just the flat surface that was there already, right? So, yeah. Let's see. Andrew says we're looking at your face through the webcam, Tim, not your ass. You don't have an ass cam. Okay, Andrew, calm down, simmer down now, son, simmer down. Shit. Kyle says Mr. B got to slip the phrase in a question to trick Tim. Yeah, right. And Mr. B says I did some tests last night for my stream and it was banned. I guess music copyrights. Yeah, dude, don't use copyright in music. That's not good. He says the life of a noob streamer is hard. Yeah, right. You learn these things. Trust me, and you learn them quick too, right? You learn them real quick. So, but you'll get there. You will get there. All right. So, continuing on with this, what are we going to do next? What I'm thinking, what is this, 2.5 or 2? This looks like 2. No, this is 2.5. Excellent. This is exactly what we were looking for then. So this is 2.5 millimeter, and this is going to come up slightly above our 2 millimeter stacked 2 millimeter piece there, right? And what I'd like to, ooh, wait a minute, now I have an idea. I have a completely different idea now. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Time out. Let's see. Where is it? Not you. Not you. No. Oh, where are they? I know exactly the parts that I'm looking for. I just can't find the damn things. No. Come on. Is this it? Let me see something here. That's not bad. Bingo. There we are. That's what we want. That's exactly what we want. Yeah. All right. So these pieces here, specifically these number 4s, these little trapezoid thingies, right? This is off plate P125 from our good friends at Kotobukiya, right? So, like I said, we want 2 of these little number 4s here, right? And we're going to clip these out. We're going to use these instead of my initial. idea because these are already formed in the shape that I wanted. Work smarter, not harder, my friends. Alright, put that back into the bin. Get that over there. Now, we need to trim the nubs off of these two teeny tiny little pieces. You can hardly even see them there, right? They're camouflaged. They're right there. See, just these little pieces right there. Kind of crazy. Ah, perfect. There you go. Now you can see them a little bit better in that highlight there, right? So first things first. Like I said, we need to clean the nubs off this thing. Get these nice and neat and tidy. So very carefully with our eyes down and our knife here, just flat cut the edge on these. Alright, both of those are looking good. Now very carefully flip this piece, do the same exact thing over here. Good. All right, there we go. Both of these are now nicely cleaned up. Now, what I'm going to do, excuse me, is to glue these to the sides of this. And this is, since this is taller than this 2mm piece, it's going to stick up above just a little bit. So it's almost going to be like, almost akin to like a photo etch detail almost, right? So that's kind of what we're hoping to do here. Now, placement, obviously we need to make this symmetrical. So what we're going to do and how we're going to achieve that is by using one of our scribing jigs, right? Now, the problem here is to find the right one. That's 4 and that was 6.3, so I think 4.8 will probably do the trick here. Yeah, excellent. Okay, so let's see, we'll get this lined up right there like that, and then we can use our pencil on this one and just do that, right? And now, excuse me, we can use one of these other scribing jigs, like a 2mm, 3.2, or whatever. It doesn't really matter, because what we're going to be doing is just using the vertical side of things to properly align to that pencil mark, right? Just like that. That guideline is transferred perfectly off to that side. And then we'll do the same exact thing here to, oops, this side. And there we go. Those marks are now perfectly transferred over to both sides. Now, as long as we adhere to those guidelines, these two little bitty parts will be perfectly symmetrical on both sides and align perfectly, right? So that's the plan. That's the plan. Anywho, all right, let's kind of find out how much space we're working with here, right? So to do that, let's get this piece in here just as kind of a supporting block here, so to speak. And focus, there we go. So if we place that right there, it's going to come up just about 1 millimeter off the top there. But one thing that I'm seeing is that this bottom edge is not flat. It's not perfectly flat, right? So let's there we go. Now that should be better. Yeah, there we go. All right, so let's mock that up one more time and make sure that we're good to go. Very nice. That will be very good placement. Excellent. All right, so since these are very, very small pieces, what we're going to do, we're not going to apply super glue directly to them out of the bottle. That's just asking for trouble and way, way, way more super glue than what we need, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to use our little scrap palette thingy here, and we're going to drizzle a bit of super glue right there, and we're going to dip that little scrap piece in there and just gently apply that to our piece, right? And so now what we'll do is get our two little pieces here. And there we are. Oh, focus. Focus! There it is. Yeah. Very good. Now, that obviously has, you know, the glue is squeezed out and attached itself to both the piece and the base, which is not a problem, actually. That's kind of preferable at this point because that gives us a nice kind of hands-free type of deal to work with this other, this corresponding piece. Now, we're going to do the same thing. Sand that slightly just to get that nice and flat. Spin this little sucker around a little bit. Get that loaded into the tweezers, and we'll do the same exact thing here. Here we are. Alright, so again, since these two pieces are glued together, it's kind of makes it easy on us, little hands-free type of deal. We can just easily place this other corresponding piece. Ah, you son of a bitch, get into place. Come on. There we go. Now let's use our tweezers to squeeze these two pieces together. Make sure we've got good adhesion to both of these. And then what we can do is just simply pull that piece right off the surface there. And we can just really just scrape away the little bit of super glue with our fingernail. Very, very simple. So we'll put our little palette and scrap piece away there. And we'll go ahead and get all of this mocked up on this piece to see how it looks here. All right? Yeah. Yeah. That looks good. That looks good so far. I like it. I like it. Again, different level changes, different width variations, all that fun stuff goes into making, you know, some pretty good looking details here, if I do say so. Ooh, now one thing that I overlooked here is the exhaust tube here. Yeah. See? Well, shit. Okay. So what we're going to end up doing, this little back piece that we put on before, we're going to need to put a slight curvature in the middle there so this can fit right there, right? So, to do that, we're going to grab our half round, and we're just going to kind of go to town on the middle here, middle section. It's an overlook on my part. Now, to make this a bit easier, let's do this. Start that with a cut. And then we'll mount this on here. And then, where is the locating pin? There it is. Get that. Ooh. And we need to, that's almost there. We just need to fine tune that with the little half round, and then we're pretty much in good shape. Okay, just like that. Now what we're also going to do, since we beveled this initially, we got to come back in here and re-bevel that curve that we just applied. Okay. Yeah, and there we go. That fits very nicely. Excellent. All right, so let's get this little piece on here and see what that looks like. And there's the back end of the bazooka thus far. Yeah. See, I love the vertical weight that we added on to this thing, the visual vertical weight, meaning the height of this, right? Because before this was on here, let's take this off, and it's very flat, right? It's basically just right across here, except for this very, very gradual height difference off of the barrel. It was very, very flat. Now, once we added this guy on here, weighted to the back end of the mag and everything, that just kind of takes that taper and really just runs with it, right? Nice. Nice. Now, for shits and giggles, let's take a look at the whole composition here and see how this looks, right? The whole kit and caboodle. Push everything out of the way here. Get this right there, and then what we're also going to do here real quick is to tack in the this little guy right here, right? But we gotta take off the exhaust to do that. Now, to tack him in, I'm just going to drop a little bead of sticky tack in there, right? And I'm just going to press this kind of down into place, and that will hold this on here for our needs, just like that. Perfect. Okay, so there's our full composition, and we'll get I'll pull the lens out wide here in just a second. There it is. Yeah, man, yeah, that looks a lot better, right? Let's get this down so you can see the contrast there on that gray stripe with the white piece. Yeah, I'm really liking that. I'm really, really liking that. And then you couple that with the gun that we did, right? This guy here. And prop him up like that. And they both look like prototypes, right? That's kind of my direction on that. They both look like prototypes. And I'm really happy with how they're coming out. Really happy. Not bad. Not too bad. Yeah. All right. So, let's get caught up with the chat, yeah? Let's see. Kyle says half round down the center of the 4mm. Not yet. I have other plans. Don't worry. Don't you worry none, Kyle. We got you. You're in good hands, son. He says, latch detail. Nice. Yeah. Mr. Barack, he's got a question.
We have a question.
He says, I have another question. When you got time, talk to me about your design process. Do you make a sketch just to anchor the ideas, or just going with the flow? Yeah, dude, I just go with it. I let the pieces and parts talk to me, and whatever they want, I'll just throw on there, right? And that's basically how I operate. I don't draw anything out. I don't plan anything. I have a general vision in my head about what I want something to look like, but that the pathway to that endpoint may meander greatly. Let's put it that way, right? Especially with this, I didn't even think. I didn't even really think about working on the bazooka, but I'm glad I did. Just because I think it's coming out really, really well. And I'm really freaking happy with it. I'm just really happy with it so far. But again, we're not quite done just yet. We're not quite done just yet. We still have some more work to do. I'd like to do something along the top spine of the barrel here, and kind of do some like supports and stuff like that, right? Kind of to echo like these little details here, right? And then the little support details on the cannon here on the gun. I'd like to do something along the spine there to echo that kind of detail. So that's kind of the vision that we're having, right? But yeah, I just go with the flow. Just go with the flow. RBT Robot 208, I guess. One thing I struggle with sometimes is finding the line between adding details that actually enhance the cohesion/story of the model and adding details for the sake of adding details. Thoughts? Yeah, there's a balance there. There's always going to need to be a balance there. What we do in this hobby, in my opinion, there needs to be a perfect, you need to strike a perfect balance between aesthetically pleasing and mechanically accurate or logical. So at that point, it is a tough balance. The kind of the focus and the goal on both of these weapons are to look more like prototypes, because obviously the RX-78-2 was a prototype, right? Obviously there was a 1, but that didn't see much deployment or action. But the 2, the White Devil, definitely saw a ton of action. So you go to figure that, number 1, it's a prototype. Number 2, it's going to see a bunch of battle, so it's going to get damaged and repaired in field. And they're going to do the best job that they possibly can, but probably not up to the standards of the factory that built it, right? So that's kind of the kind of the vision that I had for this is to make it look kind of makeshift, somewhat prototype-ish, right? And I think we're slowly starting to pull that off. I think we definitely pulled it off with the remixed beam rifle here. Where's my little bamboo skewer? Oh, it's under there. I can't even use it to point. But I think we pulled that off here with this, with this kind of on the side laser cannon here with the supports and everything, the exposed wires and all that. I think we did that on this particular piece, and then I think we're also starting to pull that off here with this one, with the exposed lines down here with the supports and everything that echo the ones on the little cannon down here, and I think we're just kind of tying this whole piece together now. We're getting into that stage at this point. So yeah, how do you find that balance? It's tough. Honestly, I try to think of what the model would kind of look like if it were real. For this, being a prototype, it would be kind of makeshifted together and kind of piecemealed and stuff. So I'm going with that influence, right? So that's kind of how I do things. For the unicorn, obviously that has a completely different aesthetic. More panels, more panel lines, more variances in vertical height and stuff like that. That's kind of that aesthetic, right? And that's what I went with for the SD high grade unicorn. But for this, obviously, this is a bit of a different aesthetic. This is more prototype, so you have to shift your focus to what the model could possibly be if it were real. So that's my makeshift thoughts. So very good question, though. Very, very good question. Hulu says those are some fucking questions right there. Right? Good ones. Sparion over there on YouTube, he says the one thing I struggle with is not losing the tiny ass thruster connectors for Thunderbolt kits. Gosh dang it, right? Well, trust me, dude, we're all there. Like I will have worked on a part, like a teeny tiny little part, for like an hour, and then it slips out of my hands and it's gone. Hour down the drain, right? Well, 2 hours down the drain, because I'll spend an hour on the floor looking for it and then give up after that and then try to basically have to remake it. So, yeah, dude, life of a scale modeler, brother. Let's see. Henry says, tack life. Andrew says, Tiger Drill. Girk McDirk's over there on YouTube. He says, those are looking so nice. Thank you, buddy. Goalie Zero, Mr. Carl over there says, as the Canadians would say, not bad, eh? Nice. Andrew says, you're in good hands with Allstate. There you go. Terry T says, I can imagine your RX-78 being a development of the Jesta, especially with the prototype look of the weapons. That would be kind of cool, right? That would be kind of cool, but still, it's a bit out of timeline. But, yeah. Julio says, he smokes crack and lets the plastic talk to him. Like how I did it in his accent. Yeah. Yeah. Persistent Turtle, Mr. Lucas, he says, happy Thursday. What's going on, buddy? John Michael is over there on Facebook. He says, Tim is... wow. Okay. So he says, Tim is the best Gunpla builder on the planet. I'd argue that. He says, I learned so much from his expertise, and I'm a new builder. Thanks, Tim. Hey, you're welcome, buddy. My pleasure. My absolute pleasure. And I appreciate the compliments. Don't get me wrong. Henry says, Tim, at the front tip of the bazooka, the little detail would balance the look more, in my opinion. Oh, something up here? Yeah. There's, what is this? That little, I took it off because I didn't want to, shit, and I just dropped it. I didn't want to lose the damn thing, but it's got this little antenna type thing right here that, clicks in there. I just took it off because I didn't want to lose it. So, but no, it's definitely going back on. Don't. Oh, under here. Maybe. Yeah, we could. We could think about that. It will make. He says it. Andrew says it'll make it flow. Yeah. Yeah. Could be. Yeah, something like right up under here. Ooh, or maybe, something like right up under the bevel here, right? Just something like that, right? Just like a little divider, like a bar in there. I think that would kind of look interesting. We'll explore that. We'll explore that at a later date, obviously. Maybe tomorrow. But let's see. Barack over there says, haha, plastic crack. There you go. He says, looks nice. That bazooka's more like kind of my stuff. Less is more, but needs something. Yeah, definitely. No, we're not done yet. We're nowhere near done yet. And we're gonna continue pounding away on this thing. But I think what we have thus far is looking really good, and I'm really happy with it. So, and Handren says, yep, nice. So yeah, just something like right there, right underneath the little, just right there. Yeah, I think that would kind of look cool. That's a good call, Handren. That's a good call. Yeah, and honestly, we haven't done much to the front barrel here or the middle. We've just basically mounted those up and gotten those connected, right? We'll have to kind of go back and give those a little bit of attention because I liked the idea that people were giving about putting little support triangles here at the corners on this little short end of the barrel. I really liked that idea, and I think that's what we're probably going to do. But we just got to get around to it, obviously, right? So anyway, let's see. Mr. B says, is that the RX-7 Origin? Yes, this started as the Origin Master Grade bazooka, yes. But obviously it has morphed into something completely different, right? So, yeah. Let's see. Henry says, or like the Xeon bazookas, he says, I believe the Dom Tropin has something like a pipe at the front. Yeah, no, I think it does. And I was working on excuse me. I was working on that something like that for the Gelgoog that we scrapped earlier this year. But obviously that never really saw the light of day. But yeah, something maybe like that. But I kind of like the bar separator just in the beginning, just right underneath here at the bevel. I really like that idea, and I think that's definitely something that we would want to try and duplicate, right? But one step at a time, right? So we'll get there. We will get there. But anywho, all right, kids. It's 5 p.m. It's quitting time. What is all this now? Yep. Okay, anyway, we'll get to that here in a minute. All right, so you guys, let's see. This is the only stream for today. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard U.S. time, and then tomorrow night, Mechanism. We're gonna have fun. All that good stuff, right? We're rocking the Titans today. If you want one of these Titan shirts, go hit up www.chadamecha.com. Hit the store button up at the top. You're going to find this shirt, many more, hats, prints of my work, all sorts of fun stuff. So go load up in there. Hey, there it is. Mr. B says, thanks for your time, Tim. Iris says hello. Hi, Iris. They're awesome. I love those two. They're so cute together too, man. And if you don't follow Mr. B Plamo on Instagram, I highly suggest you do. Barack is awesome. Anyway, if you are interested in any of the tools and materials that we're working with here today, there is an Amazon link below here on Twitch and YouTube, that side if you're watching on Facebook. I do get a bit of a commission based off the stuff that you buy, but it doesn't increase the cost for you. It goes to help out me, help out the stream, fuel our endeavors moving forward. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. Like I said, tools and materials that we use very, very often. Books for inspiration, gear for streaming if you want to get into that. Been adding a ton of stuff into those lists lately. added a new ruler in the modeling stuff that I really want to get. And it's a metric ruler. And it's got it's basically it's an Incra line ruler, and it's got these little like photo etch marks in them for just the little millimeters, right? But then it's got marks in there for quarter, half, and 3/4 millimeters on every single millimeter, and it's just wild. It's a $30 ruler, and it's only 15 centimeters long, so it's basically the same size as the big T-square, right? The big wave one. It's the same size as this, but it's $30. But when you see the accuracy that you could get out of it, you can see why it's $30. I want to get one because they are awesome looking. Anyway, one thing at a time, right? But yeah, so we add stuff in there all the time, so go peruse, go take a look and all that good stuff. If you are interested in kits, tools, paints, accessories, what have you, Mecha Decals, sheets 1 and 2, those are both in stock and shipping now. Hit up our good friends right down here, USA Gundam Store. Adam and the fine crew down there are definitely going to have what you need. Now, if you get value out of this stream, if you learn stuff, if you get enjoyment and entertainment out of this, man, I would definitely request that you hit up, all the social media platforms, like, follow, subscribe, all that fun stuff on there. You can see everything else that happens off stream, right? And then if you know people that, a person or persons that could benefit from this, share the stream with them. Help them become a part of this, the whole Mecha Army thing, the community and all, yeah? So, anyway, kiddos, that's going to do it for me. I'm going to see you back here at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Mechanism tomorrow night. We're going to have some fun. Trust me, I need it after this week. This week's been, whew. Yeah, so stay safe out there. Enjoy the rest of your day. Wash your hands. Use common sense. But above all else, make something cool. All right? See you guys tomorrow. Take care.